Hello and welcome to today's edition of Diplomatic Passport, your daily weekday COVID-19 show that gives you an update on the developments around COVID-19 right here in Zimbabwe, the region, as well as globally. My name is Blessing Munatsi, and this program is brought to you by ZTN in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. Looking at the latest figures released by the Ministry of Health and Childcare yesterday, 53 new cases of COVID were recorded from 2,781 tests conducted, and this represents a 1.9% positivity rate and takes the number of active cases to 1,102. 2 deaths were recorded, bringing the cumulative fatalities to 4,662, while the cumulative number of COVID cases now stands at 132,540, with 126,776 recoveries, representing a recovery rate of 96%. Now, Zimbabwe currently has 85 hospitalized cases of COVID-19, 5 of them being new admissions and 10 asymptomatic, 58 mild to moderate cases, and 13 of those admitted having severe symptoms, while 4 are in the intensive care unit. Looking at the vaccination program, 7,609 people are receiving their first dose yesterday, bringing the cumulative for the first dose to 3,251,466, while 9,444 received their second dose, to bring the cumulative for the second dose to 2,517,653. Well, a development yesterday that was quite interesting for many. The Sports and Recreation Commission, the SRC, has given the green light for fully vaccinated supporters to attend sporting events, and the memo that was released also highlights that 250 spectators can attend equestrian events, while 250 fans can be allowed in rugby stadia. That's for the northern and southern region tournaments, while 250 spectators can be admitted for motorsport. That's in the Harare and Bulawayo circuit. So the main condition being that the fans have to be vaccinated. But the biggest benefactors in terms of numbers were obviously in football, and Zimbabwe's football fans have not been able to attend local matches in the last 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic, and the SRC has approved ZIFA to allow 2,000 fans for Chibuku Super Cup matches, and in cricket a total of 1,000 fully vaccinated spectators are to be allowed at Queen Sports Club in Bulawayo for the Women's ODI series between Zimbabwe and Bangladesh. That's happening in November, and it will serve as a trial run for the safe return of spectators to the stadium. This will also mark the first time since January 2020 that people will be allowed in for a cricket match in Zimbabwe. Spectators last attended a cricket match in the country back in when Zimbabwe hosted Sri Lanka men's team for a 2 test series. That's in 2020. Now, we did speak to Yvonne Mangunda, who is the Zimbabwe women's cricket brand officer, and she expressed delight with the development.
We're obviously very excited with the development because we get to be the first to have fans as a trial run for the return of spectators in cricket stadiums in Zimbabwe. And it's very exciting that it happens at Queen Sports Club, because traditionally that has been a stadium where fans have come and have been loud and have supported every time their national teams or domestic games. So we look forward to having fans back in the stadium, because it means a lot for the ladies when you consider what we've done in the qualifier in Botswana, what we did against Thailand, what we did in our first ODI series. Yes, it was exciting to be playing our first ODI series against Ireland, but how amazing would it have been if fans were around to also witness what was a very, very historical day for the ladies. So we're very excited, because it means there's also big hope that when the qualifier is played, we'll have fans, because we've got big names that are coming to Zimbabwe, the likes of West Indies, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Ireland. So we're very excited with the development, and we're hoping that they will signal the coming back of fans in all the matches and all the cricket matches in the country.
Now, we also spoke to an analyst who is also a sports journalist. That's Langton Nyakwenda, who emphasized the importance of vaccination and called on officials and clubs to ensure that no unvaccinated fans should be allowed in so as to be detrimental to this green light. He also said that fans returning to the stadia will be a major boost for the players' morale, considering that it has been almost 2 years since last football fans were in attendance.
I think this is a very good development for the local football fraternity, given that fans, at least 2,000 fans, will not be allowed back into the stadiums. We salute the government for such a decision, given that we also need to manage the spread of COVID-19. So they've started with 2,000 fans in the stadium. I think it was long overdue. In South Africa, they already did it in the previous matches, and they were looking at increasing the fans to 20,000 against Zimbabwe in the World Cup qualifier, provided the fans are vaccinated. The key word here is vaccination. And also the other word could be, how will the PSL manage those fans getting the stadiums to make sure that they are fully vaccinated? We think we would not condone corruption in terms of the turnstiles, whereby we see those manning the gates, allowing people without a full vaccination. But generally it's good for the players. It boosts their morale. You see, it has been about 20 months without fans in the stadium. The last game we had with fans was in March 2020 when FC Platinum played the Islanders in the Challenge Cup at Baba Fields, and since then it has been football at empty stadium. So I think it's going to be a boost for fans themselves, because they were missing watching these matches live.
Now, football is probably one of the largest sports under the sun, and the importance of the fans cannot be overemphasized. Of course, it is also important since most teams also rely on gate takings for their upkeep. And in addition, of course, to the moral support that comes from the 12th men that helps in creating that euphoric environment that is synonymous with football matches. Now, we did speak to the Zimbabwe National Soccer Supporters Association representative, that's Munuwashe Ndanga, as well as a fan, Domsky Makosi, who have both welcomed the decision by the SRC to open the gates to the fans and allow them back into the stadia, also calling on fellow supporters to be cognizant of the need to abide by COVID-19 restrictions and also protocols.
First, I would want to say this is a welcome development, an issue coming from SRC, effecting this through ZIFA, that in terms of World Health Organizations, this shows that Zimbabweans are complying with the health standards expected in this world pandemic. This is a welcome development where we expect funds to come in their thousands to support the guys who are the owners of the game, the players. My comforting words would be to say that we expect them to comply in terms of the regulations that has been issued by the SRC body. What we expect them is we need people who have been fully vaccinated, maybe 2 jabs. We expect them to sanitize and to be orderly when they move into the stadium and to observe social distancing, so that we are not found wanting in that direction. Yeah, we do recognize that given last year, the whole of last year and probably a greater part of this year, we've not been trooping into the stadium. So what we then expect them, we don't expect them to be mingling around. We expect them to be orderly. I do understand that regulations have been issued in terms of the entry points, in terms of the match officials, how they are going to well seated there, so that we pay into the stadium and give value to Delta, which is trying to promote soccer through the Chibuku brand.
Mufaro wedu wadzoswa tichitenda vatibatsira kuti tikwanise kurangarirwa nokuti chinhu chinonzi bhora changa chitisanganisa muzvakasiyana siyana tichidevelopa kugarisana zvakanaka ine sportsmanship yakanaka. Saka kupuwa mukana wakadai tinotenda vatibatsira kuti tirangarira kuti tiriko varidzi vebhora tinoda kudzokera kuground.
All right, so that does it for Diplomatic Passport for today. It's a big thumbs up that's coming out there from the many stakeholders around sport. Thumbs up to the Sports and Recreation Commission for allowing fans back into the stadia. But of course, if you want to go to the stadia, that big requirement, you have to be vaccinated and produce identification that authenticates that you are indeed the bona fide holder of that vaccination certificate before you can make your way into the stadia. This program comes to an end for today. Wishing you a lovely and active sporting weekend this week. My name is Blessing Munatsi, and it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for making us your choice. This program is of course brought to you by ZTN in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. We're back again next week with more encompassing details around the world of COVID. It's bye-bye for now.